Hello and welcome to SquishiVision. My name is Harris Crashing. This is my thoughts on Moon Knight, the friendly one. This is gonna be my thoughts. I've just watched it, so this is my unfiltered thoughts as it comes to me. Not a chance to like delve through and nitpick and iterating what I've said for the previous two episodes. I know nothing about Moon Knight other than what I am experiencing through the show, and much like kind of I hoped would be the case. Now, in this episode, we spend with actually, no, we don't. So, it's a kind of this is our kind of more Marc dominant episode, where iPad, where Marc's in the driving seat, and we actually see reactions from Stephen in the mirror. But other than apart from I think a couple of brief moments and mainly towards the end, it's mainly Marc in the driving seat. So we're seeing Marc kind of what Marc would do, and he has very much more of an action hero kind of thing about him, a bit more of a dark kind of hero. So we start with a very interesting scene where he's kind of trying to go find an informant and gets there too late, and the informant's been stabbed. So he's like, "Well, okay, that's not the deal." So yeah, so he's like, "Well, that's not ideal," and he proceeds to like beat up the guys with swords, a bit of that kind of combat there, and but he kind of passes out, and we see him Steven's in control, and Steven's kind of ask him to go to the airport, and then Marc comes back into control again, and we don't know how Steven gets himself out of that situation where he's got one guy biting a knife for the throat and another guy kind of down, and then into a taxi. But he does that, and then he sees his guys as a taxi driving past by coincidence, and he chases after them again. Gets one of them against the wall, passes out. Actually, passes out, and then when he wakes up, two of the guys, he's in the process of stabbing a guy, and he doesn't know what's going to happen, and Steven doesn't know what's happened. So there's implication there might be a third person here, which I think from what I've seen in memes might be Jake. There's someone called Jake apparently, so maybe it's another guy who's, I don't know, brutal in a different way. I'm still not sure like if it's yet to be explained exactly what the different personalities are meant to be, or if I've just like missed it. Obviously, I know there's a kind of at least a parallel or a inference from mental illness. I just don't know if that's meant to be actually what is the case. So it's weird because for me, as someone who's a lot of mental health advocacy, although things like personality disorders aren't really my wheelhouse, not but they need to be. I'm trying to be like, is this a good show of mental health? Is it bad show of mental health? Is it even a show of mental health whatsoever? So that's kind of, I guess, that's going through my mind as I'm watching this. And then there's this weird segment where they basically put Khonshu approaches the other members of the Egyptian kind of pantheon and demands that they punish Harrow. And it just comes out a bit out of nowhere, and it's like, well, why didn't this happen before? I mean, he mentions the big risk, but it also seems like he wasn't that particularly against doing so. And also he's like, well, like, we need to make a very kind of watertight argument against Harrow, and he makes pretty much no case whatsoever, other than he's doing a bad thing, and Harrow's like, don't believe this guy is clearly not. He says, don't believe either of them, because Marc's not well and Khonshu's a liar. And then it kind of like, yeah, that seems all perfectly reasonable to me, and you don't investigate further. I mean, is Harrow like? I mean, what exactly is the limitation on the perception of these deities? Because Khonshu seems to be able to basically go and see anything, but these other ones are like, well, if there's no proof, and it's like, well, he's got a major operation. He's digging up the desert. He talks openly about Amit and praising and followers, and he's doing weird things and he's using Emmett's power. I'm a bit lost. Like, can we not find out? I mean, is that a self-limitation on them that they can only observe things they actually observe? It seems a bit odd. It seems a bit odd to me. So yeah, he tries to go prove it himself. And Layla catches up to him and they go and visit this guy who collects artifacts to try and get some clues. Goes a bit odd, like Marc kind of gives himself away by how little he knows about Egyptian stuff, which you think he A, know a bit more, or B, know how to fake that, because apparently he's doing this for a while. Like, he doesn't know much Stephen, you think he'd know a bit more, but whatever. And then Hera basically turns up and I'm a bit confused at a lot of things happen in this episode. Let's just get out of that. And he turns up and he's like, yeah, don't touch these people. By the way, I have all these powers and, you know, all these clues are true. And I guess he kind of impresses him and whatever. And then you get a kind of a nice little fight scene with Moon Knight. Basically like just slicing up a whole bunch of mooks. And then there's this nice moment where he really turns into Mr. Knight, because he doesn't want to be as violent as Moon Knight is, but then gets quickly like impaled. He's like, you know what? Never mind. You can carry on. So that was a bit funny. But yeah, some like kind of inferences to like Marc having secrets. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, shoot. The best part of the episode without doubt was the ending when they have to. It's a really, really nice setup. They're like, the only way for us to decipher the clue we found is to work out what the moon and stars were like 4,000 or whatever years ago. And Khonshu's like, well, I can literally use my powers to turn back stars and the moon. But he was warned earlier that if he does something like this again, he'll be imprisoned. So he does it, and then he gets imprisoned. So possibly does that mean that Marc Stephen lose their Moonlight powers or not? It's not clear. Clearly, Khonshu thinks Marc can free him, but yeah, he's now imprisoned. But it's nice. It was a really beautiful segment. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of how it would look like if all the stars and the sky suddenly went through every single night from the last 4,000 years in a couple of minutes. It was quite a weird light show experience, but it looks kind of cool actually. And yeah, so that happens, and that's where the episode kind of ends. Yeah, it was a weird mixed episode. I mean, a lot of fun bits in there. I'm just very confused about other things, and it kind of just happened. This is going to end really abruptly, because I want to get back to my dissertation, because it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 days. I have 11 days to write 7,000 words. I'm going to get back to doing that actually. But let me know your thoughts up below, and I'll see you on Friday for... Oh heck, I'll see you later today actually for Picard. It's how the days go. Well, okay, that's the plan. Alright, bye. Oh, I forgot to do this bit, and then yeah, bye.